Hello and welcome to our number talk. Today we are going to look at the expression 26 times 5. In a number talk we use mental math. That means no paper, no pencil to try to solve this expression. And then we also keep track of our strategy because there are many different ways that we can do this mentally. So let's go ahead and do that. In just a moment you're going to pause the video. You're going to work this problem in your head and you're going to keep track of the strategy you used. Unpause it and we will look at all the different ways that we can solve 26 times 5. So go ahead and pause it. So hopefully you have your answer in your head. Let's see what we can do first. Well, we could have taken this 26 times 5 and we could have used the distributive property. This lets us break apart one of our factors. In this case, we're going to take our 26, and you notice we cut it in half. 13 plus 13. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this other factor. We're still going to multiply it, but we're going to multiply it by both of those add-ins to get us partial products. So instead of 26 times 5, which is kind of big, we're going to do 13 times 5. That's pretty easy. That's 65. Because 12 times 5 is 60, so one more 5 gets us 65. And then we add the other 13 times 5, which is also 65. Add those two together, and you hopefully got the answer of 130. So next, we could also use a different type of distributive property. We can still take that 26, instead of splitting it in half into 13 and 13, some of you probably used just place value, which is always a good way to do it. Think of it as tens and ones. This is 26 in expanded form, 20 plus 6. We're still going to do the same thing. We're going to take that 5, we're going to multiply it by both add-ins to get our partial products. So first we've got 20 times our 5. That's easy, that's 100. We're going to add our 6 times 5. That's going to get us our 30. Look at that, 100 plus 30. That is going to give us our same answer of 130. Now, this is kind of a strange distributive property, but trust me, it works. 26 times 5. We're going to take this 26, we're going to break it down into 25 plus 1. It's really just another form of compensation here. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take this 5 here, and we're going to still multiply it by both the 25 and the 1. 25 times 5 is super simple, because think of 5 quarters. That's going to get you 125 cents, or $1.25. Then we're going to add this other 1 times 5, and that's going to get us 5, and look at that. There's your 130. So you can either call that distributive property, or you can call that compensation if you want to. We could also just leave the 26 as it is, and we can start playing around with that 5. So what we are going to do here is we're going to take this 5, we're going to break it up into 3 add-ins. There's no rule that says you can only break it up into 2 add-ins. Now why would I want to do this? Well, times 2 is doubling, and doubling is usually pretty easy. I'm going to take this 26, distribute it out to get 3 partial products. So first I'm going to do 26 times 2, so I'm going to double my 26. That's 52. Then I'm going to take my 26, double it again. I'm going to get another 52. And then I'm going to take a 26 and just multiply it by 1, because that's the last one left. That's going to give me my 26. And so you notice here, I've got 104. Add that 26, and I'm going to get 130 again. Now, doubling and halving sometimes works. Watch what we're going to do here. 26 times 5. It really works if you've got a large factor and a small factor. So what this means is you can take one of your factors and cut it in half. So I'm going to take my 26, cut it in half. It's 13. That's why we've got gray right here. We're going to get rid of half of one factor. But in order for it to be even, this expression remain balanced, what we have to do is we have to take the other factor and double it. So we took 1, and we divided it by 2. We took the other and we multiplied by 2, and that keeps it a balanced expression. And look at that, 13 times 10. See, there's my 10. I've got 2 5s. That's 130. Once again. So doubling and halving, really cool on that one. We can also finally use the associative property. So what the associative property does is we're going to take our 26 times 5. We're going to say, you know what, this 26, let's break that into 13 times 2. That's actually the prime factors of 26. And so that's the only way we could break that up. 5 is a prime number, so this is really the only thing we could do with the associative property. What this does is this lets us shift our factors grouping. This is the grouping property. It only works when you have 3 or more factors. If you do it with addition, you need 3 or more add-ins. But instead of 13 times 2 being grouped together, I'd rather have 2 groups of 5 grouped together. So that's what I've got here. I've got 2 groups of 5. That's easy. That's 10. And I need 13 sets of that. So I'm just going to skip count by 10s 13 times, and you know what that's going to get you. That's going to get you 130. Now this little doodad right here just means I ran out of room on my screen. It all needs to be connected together. It should be one huge long column. If I skip count by 10 13 times, I'm going to get 130. So those are just a few ways that you can use mental math to solve 26 times 5. If you found another way, that's fantastic. Go ahead and drop that as a comment on the video. If you are a teacher, you can find this slide deck for your own use on my website, 5minutemath.net.